There will come a moment in your life, quiet, unassuming, perhaps wrapped in silence or sorrow, when you will pause and finally ask, what am I searching for? And in that sacred pause, something eternal will whisper back, you're searching for what you already are. It is the great paradox of the human experience. We spend our lives climbing mountains only to find the treasure buried in the soil beneath our own feet. We chase love, not realizing we are the source of it. We hunger for peace, forgetting that peace is not found, it is remembered. And we ache for fulfillment, not because we lack anything, but because we have forgotten the infinite wealth that already resides in the core of our being. You were born complete. Not when you reached a milestone, not when you proved your worth, not when the world applauded, but from the very first breath you took, you were whole. What you seek is not out there. It never has been, it never will be. And so this is your invitation not to become anything new, but to return. Return to your inner world. Return to your sacred self. Return to the divine intelligence that beats your heart, breathes your lungs, and orchestrates galaxies while you sleep. There is nothing outside of you that can complete you. Because the truth is, you were never incomplete. You have been taught to believe that happiness is a destination, love is earned, and peace is conditional. But I ask you now to look deeper. Look beneath the noise, beneath the thoughts, beneath the conditioning. Can you feel it? That silent presence within you, untouched by the chaos of the world, that is who you truly are. The ego will tell you that you need more success, more beauty, more validation, but the soul gently reminds you, you are enough as you are right now. Not when you're better, not when you've achieved, but now. Now is the miracle. Your purpose is not something to be hunted down in the distance. It is something to be allowed, unfolded, and lived from the inside out. When you live from the space within, your life no longer becomes about impressing, acquiring, or proving. It becomes about expressing, serving, and simply being. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean contained in a single drop. You are not just in the universe is in you. The stars that blaze in the night sky, they are made of the same matter as your bones. The divine intelligence that spins the earth is the same presence that lives and moves through you. So why do we feel separate? Because we've been taught to identify with the mask, the image, the performance. We believe we are. Our titles, our achievements, our bodies, our traumas. But none of that is who you really are. Those are roles you've played. Temporary garments you've worn on this stage called Earth. Who you are is the formless awareness that sees it all. You are the sky, not the passing weather. You are the light, not the lampshade. You are the timeless self, watching the movie of this life unfold. And when you awaken to this truth, not intellectually but experientially, everything shifts. You begin to walk lighter. You speak softer. You laugh more freely, because the burdens you carried were never yours to begin with. They were illusions handed down by a world that forgot its own divinity. But you are here to remember. You are here to awaken. You are here to return to the vastness of your own being. You do not need to be fixed. You need only to be revealed. And when you sit in silence, not running, not reaching, just being, you will feel the stillness that has been patiently waiting for you all along. That stillness is your true self. It needs nothing. It lacks nothing. It's simply island. This is the great homecoming. Not to a place, not to a goal, but to your own essence. And when you make this inner return, something miraculous happens. Your outer life rearranges itself to match the truth within. People come and go, but your peace remains. Plans change, but your purpose stays rooted. The world stirs in chaos, but you are the calm in the center of the storm, because you have remembered who you are. And what you are is divine. You are the light behind the eyes, the silence between thoughts, the awareness in every breath. You are not the waves. You are the ocean. You are not the story. You are the space in which the story unfolds. And the more you align with this inner truth, the less you chase and the more you attract. Because your energy no longer screams, I lack, but radiates, I am. The highest act of self-love is not in changing who you are. It is in embracing who you've always been, without conditions, without apologies, without needing the world to agree. You see, the world cannot validate your worth because it did not give it to you. Your worth was assigned by something far greater than society, something eternal, something infinite, something that spoke you into being and whispered, it is good. And so I invite you to stop searching, not because the journey is wrong, but because the destination is already here. You are not on a quest to find God. You are on a journey to remember that God is already within you. You are not here to become whole. You are here to uncover the wholeness that has never left. This life, with all its twists and turns, is not here to punish you. It is here to awaken you. Every heartbreak, every loss, every unanswered question was not a detour. It was an invitation, a sacred summons to return inward, to go deeper, to feel more, to strip away the false and discover the truth. And the truth is simple. You are already what you seek. Peace is not found in quiet places. It's found when you become the quiet place. Love is not discovered in another. It is remembered in yourself. Joy is not granted by conditions. It is awakened when you surrender the need for conditions. And freedom? True freedom is not the absence of pain. It is the presence of truth. And the truth is you are already free. You always have been. You only believed you weren't. When the mind quiets and the heart no longer races to outrun the past or chase the future, what remains is something eternal, something ancient and soft and holy. That something is you. Not the you you've constructed for the world, but the you that simply is before name, before label, before form. There's a sacredness in just being, not doing, not achieving, not becoming, just being. And in that being, you rediscover the sacred pulse of existence itself. You were never separate from it. You only imagined you were, like waves thinking they are apart from the ocean, or sunlight believing it has a life of its own apart from the sun. The illusion of separation is powerful. It drives us into striving, into comparing, into proving. But no amount of external gain can satisfy an inner void created by forgetting who you are. The soul doesn't hunger for status. It longs to be remembered. And when you remember yourself not as a role, not as a collection of past experiences or future aspirations, but as pure awareness, something ancient stirs, a gentle awe, a soft reverence, a sense of being home without needing to move an inch. You are not a mistake wrapped in skin. You are not the product of your scars. You are not the echo of old fears. You are the unshakable stillness underneath it all. The consciousness watching the waves rise and fall, loving them all the same. Let yourself feel that, not think it, feel it. Let your breath be your prayer. Let your heartbeat be your teacher. Let the silence between thoughts be your sanctuary. The soul doesn't scream, it whispers. And in its whisper, it carries the wisdom of the stars. If you could hear the voice of your soul clearly, it would not rush you. It would not shame you. It would not demand that you fix what was never broken. It would hold you. It would smile through your sadness. It would remind you that there's nothing to become, only everything to remember. And in this remembering, you return to love, not romantic love, not transactional love, but divine unconditional love, the kind that asks nothing of you except your presence. The kind that doesn't need you to be different, but invites you to be real. And from that realness, you begin to shine, not with effort, but with alignment. Not by force, but by surrender. You stop trying to light the world by burning yourself out, and instead become a lighthouse, rooted, whole, and quietly radiant. Healing, you see, is not about fixing. It's about returning. And you return by listening, by slowing down, by breathing in the truth that you are already the medicine you seek. The more you shed what you are not, the more your true essence emerges. And that essence is not loud, it does not boast, it does not rush to be noticed. It simply is calm, expansive, infinite. You don't need to escape your life, you need to inhabit it more fully. To be where your feet are, to speak from your soul rather than your survival, to feel each moment like a sacred arrival. When you stop running from discomfort and sit with it like an old friend, it begins to reveal its gifts. Every pain is a messenger. Every ache is an opening. Every loss is a doorway into deeper love. The world may tell you that you must constantly improve yourself. But I tell you, improve your awareness of the truth, and the self will reveal its perfection on its own. Let go of the need to be seen in a certain light. Let go of the role you've rehearsed to feel acceptable. When you release the image, you embrace the infinite. Your soul is not here to perform. It's here to remember, to feel, to love, and to expand. And in that expansion, life is no longer something to survive. It becomes something to savor. You begin to trust the unfolding even when you don't understand it. Because something in you knows that life is not happening to you, it's happening for your awakening. Each moment, each breath, each rise and fall is sacred. You are not late to your path. You have not missed your calling. you are not behind. You are exactly where the divine needs you to be for the next layer of truth to unfold. There is no higher version of you waiting in the future. There is only a deeper version of you waiting to be lived now. So pause, breathe, place your hand on your heart, and remember, you are not lost. You are simply being guided back to yourself. And yourself is more than enough. There is a quiet revolution that begins the moment you stop trying to be someone and simply start being. No fireworks, no applause, just a sacred return to your own breath. The soul doesn't need grand gestures to awaken. It awakens in the smallest moments, in stillness, in silence, in the gentle decision to let go of who the world told you to be. So much of what we call suffering comes not from what is, but from our resistance to what island. We suffer not because of the present moment, but because of our judgment of it, our story about it, our fear of it, our clinging to what we wish it were instead. But the moment you surrender to the now, the moment you stop arguing with reality, you touch peace. Not the kind of peace the ego promises at the end of achievement, not the fleeting kind that depends on circumstances aligning, but the deep, unmoving peace of presence. This presence is your true nature. It is the canvas on which all experiences are painted. Joy and sadness, gain and loss, all pass across its surface. But the canvas remains untouched. That canvas is you. You are the spaciousness that holds the storm without becoming the storm. You are the awareness that notices the fear without being defined by it. You are the light that shines even when the sky is covered in clouds. And when you realize this, truly realize it, something shifts. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop controlling and start allowing. You stop clinging and start trusting. This is the beginning of freedom. Freedom is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of inner stillness despite them. It is not found by rearranging the outside world, but by remembering who you are in the midst of it all. You don't need more answers, you need deeper trust. You don't need more possessions, you need fewer illusions. You don't need to be someone else. You need to allow the real you to rise untamed, unedited, unashamed. Every spiritual teaching, every sacred scripture, every wise master is pointing in the same direction, inward. Not because the world is bad, but because the world is only a mirror. It reflects back the state of your inner being. When your heart is full of peace, the world reflects peace. When your mind is trapped in fear, the world appears threatening. Change your lens, and you change your life. What you seek is already within you, not hidden in some far-off future, but available now in this breath, in this stillness, in this eternal now. The more you seek outside, the further you drift from yourself. The more you chase, the more you signal to life that you are not enough. But the moment you return inward, the moment you rest in your own being, life begins to meet you in miraculous ways. Opportunities unfold not because you strive, but because you align. Love flows not because you demand it, but because you become it. Peace reigns not because life is perfect, but because your perception has become clear. This is not about ignoring the world, it's about no longer being lost in it. You can live in the world without being consumed by it. You can participate fully while staying rooted in your essence. You can create, serve, lead, and build, but from the overflow of your inner wholeness, not from the thirst of inner lack. And from this place, everything changes. You begin to speak not to impress, but to connect. You begin to move not to escape, but to express. You begin to love not to fill a hole, but to radiate your truth. There is nothing more magnetic than someone who remembers who they are. Their presence speaks before they do. Their peace calms the air around them. Their authenticity invites others into their own. This is the energy of someone who has stopped chasing and started being. And this is what you're being called into now, not another version of yourself, but a deeper embodiment of the self that's always been there, quietly waiting for your return. The mind may resist. It may ask, but how? It may demand a map, a strategy, a formula. But the soul doesn't need a plan. It needs permission. Permission to be felt, to be heard, to guide your life through intuition rather than instruction. You already know the way home. You don't need more learning, you need more remembering. You don't need more striving, you need more surrender. And in that surrender, you reclaim your birthright. The right to be still, the right to be enough, the right to exist not as a performer, but as a presence. And presence is everything. Every tree knows it does not need to reach for the sun, it simply grows toward it. It doesn't question the soil or doubt the wind. It stands, it breathes, it bends, and it trusts. And so should you. Your life does not require control to unfold, it requires trust. Deep, unwavering trust in the intelligence that shaped galaxies and placed you here in this moment. This trust is not naive, it is sacred. It's not passive, it's powerful. Because when you trust, you're no longer acting from fear, you're creating from alignment. You begin to move with life, not against it. You begin to recognize that your desires are not just personal, they are whispers from the divine, calling you back to yourself. But here is the mystery. What you are looking for is not something you must find, it is something you must stop ignoring. The stillness, the whisper, the intuition that speaks when you finally quiet the noise. It is all already here. You don't have to chase it, you only have to create space for it to emerge. When you strip away the expectations, the roles, the identity that was given to you and not chosen, you arrive at something pure, something unshakable, something eternal. This is who you are. Not the name on your ID, not the job title you wear like armor, not the wounds you revisit in the dark. You are the timeless presence that existed before the story began and will remain long after the final chapter has been read. And the more you live from that place, the more your life becomes a reflection of truth rather than a reaction to fear. You no longer need to prove your worth, it radiates. You no longer need to grasp at love, it finds you. You no longer need to protect your identity, it melts into something far greater. And that something is love, not the emotion, but the essence. The sacred current that flows through all things and connects you to everything. Love is not something you find, it's the field you remember. And when you step into that remembrance, you don't just transform your life, you transform the energy of everyone around you. Because energy is contagious. Your frequency is your contribution. And when your frequency is rooted in truth, in stillness, in wholeness, you become medicine in a world full of noise. You don't have to shout, you don't have to convince, you simply have to be authentically, unapologetically, lovingly. That presence alone is enough to shift a room, to open a heart, to soften a wound. You are not here to fix the world. You are here to remember the light within you so that the world may see itself more clearly. Your only real task is to become so aligned with your soul that your very existence becomes a beacon, silent, steady, and strong. And here's the miracle. You don't have to wait for that day to come. You don't have to wait until you're healed or successful or enlightened. You don't have to wait until you're more of anything. You are already it. Right now, in this moment, the light, the love, the truth, it's all present, waiting not to be earned, but to be recognized. The sacred doesn't exist in some future version of you. It exists in the depth you bring to this very breath. So breathe. Feel what is here, the weight, the longing, the quiet ache for something real. And then allow it, bless it. Let it soften you, not harden you. Pain is not the enemy, it is the portal, the opening, the crack through which the light has always been trying to enter. But the light is not coming from the outside, it's rising from within. You've mistaken your searching for a sign that something is missing. But the truth is, your searching is proof of what's already present. The desire for truth is itself the evidence that truth is within you. The longing for love is not emptiness, it is remembrance. The ache for meaning is not lack. It is the soul stretching itself back to its origin. Everything you are looking for is already in you, waiting for you to turn inward, to bow your head not in defeat but in surrender. Surrender to the fullness of your being. Surrender to the brilliance that doesn't need to be created, only revealed. And when you live from that space, life ceases to be a struggle. It becomes a flow, a sacred unfolding, not always easy, but always aligned. You are not here to be small. You are not here to fit in. You are not here to replicate someone else's path. You are here to remember. And what you are remembering is simple, but profound. What you seek is not out there. It never was. It is already within. And as this remembrance deepens, you begin to feel something stirring in you that words can't quite hold. It isn't excitement, it isn't ambition, it's quieter than that. Softer, more like a deep exhale after a lifetime of holding your breath. It's the return of something ancient, the return of presence. You begin to notice things differently. A leaf trembling in the morning breeze isn't just a leaf, it's a message. The sky at dusk isn't just color, it's a cathedral. A stranger's smile isn't just kindness, it's the universe reminding you that you're never truly alone. You start to see God not as an idea, not as a distant ruler, but as a vibration, a current, a rhythm that pulses through every moment. Every encounter becomes sacred, every breath becomes prayer. Not because life got easier, but because you got quieter. Because you stopped looking for divinity in temples and started finding it in your tears. Because you stopped chasing heaven and started building it with every moment of awareness, every act of love, every ounce of presence. This is not about escaping reality, it is about sanctifying it. Washing the dishes becomes an act of devotion. Walking down the street becomes a moving meditation. Speaking becomes sacred when it comes from your center and not your defense. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, the war within you ceases. The push and pull, the proving, the pretending, it all falls away like leaves in autumn. And what's left is something terrifyingly beautiful, the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. Not who they wanted you to be, not who you were praised for being, but the unmasked soul, holy in its silence, radiant in its presence. And when you stand in that truth, even for a moment, the lies of the world can no longer touch you. You no longer care if you're accepted because you've accepted yourself. You no longer need to be understood because you've come to understand yourself. You no longer seek to be seen because your own inner vision has returned. And that is power. Not the power to dominate or to convince, but the power to be. The power to stand still while the world spins. The power to walk your own path with soft feet and open hands. This kind of power doesn't seek attention. It doesn't shout or demand. It hums. It glows. It blesses everything it touches. Because it comes from the deepest well, alignment. And when you are aligned, when your thoughts, your words, and your actions rise from the same silent center, you become unstoppable in the most peaceful way. You stop forcing doors to open, you stop begging for signs, you stop needing proof, because your very breath becomes the sign. Your life becomes the message. You are the miracle you've been waiting for. And in this place, in this sacred space of inner stillness, the ego begins to dissolve. Not with a fight, but with a sigh, a surrender. The ego says, I am what I achieve. The soul says, I am. The ego says, I must be better. The soul says, I am whole. The ego says, look at me. The soul says, look within. And the more you identify with the soul, the more your life transforms, not because you've changed who you are, but because you've remembered who you never stopped being. It's like cleaning a mirror that's been fogged up for years. The truth was always there, you just couldn't see it. Now the fog is lifting. Now the light is shining through, and that light is you. There is no need to summarize what has been felt. The soul does not speak in summaries. It speaks in moments. Moments like this where something within you, without needing explanation, simply knows. You are not becoming, you are remembering, you are not reaching, you are allowing, you are not lost. You are being guided, always have been, always will be, by something formless and eternal that lives within you, walks with you, breathes through you. And that something has no name, yet it answers to love. It wears no face, yet you see it in every reflection. It holds no shape, yet it fills your entire being when you stop trying to fill it with the world. What you seek has never been missing. It was only hidden beneath the noise of becoming. It was only veiled by the dust of forgetting. And now the veil has lifted. The noise has softened. The seeking has stilled because you are home. Not a home built of walls, but of awareness. Not a home made of shelter, but of surrender. A home where nothing needs to be earned, explained, defended, or proven. A home where you are not your pain, your past, your story, or even your name. You are the one who has witnessed it all, loved through it all, endured it all, and never once stopped shining beneath it all. You are not here to chase the light. You are the light. You are not here to be fixed. You are the healing. You are not here to search for the divine. You are the divine temporarily pretending not to remember. But now you remember. And as this remembrance takes root not in your mind but in your being, may you walk the world not with urgency but with reverence. May you move not to escape but to express. May you speak not to be heard, but to offer the truth blooming in your chest like spring. Let your life be an offering not of perfection, but of presence. Let your joy be a prayer. Let your sorrow be sacred. Let your silence be enough. And when doubt arises, as it will welcome it as a friend, greet it with compassion, but no longer hand it the reins. You are not your doubt. You are the awareness holding it. When fear returns, do not resist. Let it pass like wind through an open window. You are not the fear. You are the house that holds it. And when the world tries to tell you who you should be, smile gently and return to the knowing that who you are is already holy. You were not born to fit in. You were born to remember yourself so clearly, so completely, that your very being gives others permission to remember themselves too. This is how the world is healed, not through force, but through remembrance. Not through battle, but through being. And so, beloved soul, rest now. Not in passivity, but in truth. Let the ground of your being hold you. Let the breath of your spirit guide you. Let the wisdom that formed stars and shaped oceans live through you without resistance. And above all, let the still voice within you rise again and again, reminding you, when the world grows loud, what you seek is already within. It always has been, and now, now you are free.
There is a quiet truth that lives behind every wound, behind every ache in the heart, behind every tear we refuse to cry. It is this: you cannot heal what you will not feel. You cannot rise above what you continue to bury beneath distractions, beneath denial, beneath the hardened mask of pretending everything is fine when your soul is crying for release. Healing is not about escape. It's not about fixing what is broken. It is about returning to what was never broken to begin with. It is about remembering who you are beneath the pain, remembering what it means to feel fully, openly, courageously. We live in a world that teaches suppression as strength and emotional silence as mastery, but the soul knows better. The soul knows that feeling deeply is the portal to transformation, that we do not transcend suffering by avoiding it. We transcend it by walking through it with awareness, with presence, with reverence. To feel is not to be weak, it is to be profoundly alive. And to feel with awareness is to awaken. Your pain is not the problem. Your resistance to feeling it is. Your emotions are not your enemies. They are messengers of the divine asking for your attention. They are rivers of energy flowing through the landscape of your inner world, cleansing, clearing, revealing. Every emotion, even the ones you wish to escape, from shame, grief, rage, despair, they come bearing wisdom, they come holding keys. And when you stop running from them and instead sit with them, breathe with them, listen to them, you unlock something ancient and powerful within you. You reclaim your freedom. You were never meant to live a numb life. You were not born to walk through this existence armored and defended, pretending, hiding, escaping. You were born to feel, to love, to cry, to laugh, to shatter and rebuild, to open your heart wide enough to be pierced by life and still keep it open. And in that vulnerability, you become indestructible. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because nothing can own you anymore. There is no bypass to healing. You must go inward. You must enter the inner sanctum of your being, where your hidden grief still echoes, where your childhood longings still whisper, where your soul still waits patiently for you to return, not to judge, not to fix, but to feel. The moment you bring presence to your pain is the moment it begins to transmute. Awareness is alchemy. So many carry the belief that to heal means to get rid of pain. But true healing is not about elimination. It is about integration. It is about turning toward what hurts with such deep compassion that the hurt itself begins to dissolve. You do not need to be perfect to be whole. You do not need to be fearless to be free. You simply need to be willing to feel, willing to show up, willing to stop abandoning yourself. The pain you are avoiding is the portal to the peace you are seeking. You want to rise, but you must first descend. You want to be light, but you must first embrace your shadow. You want joy, but you must allow sorrow to have its say. This is the paradox of healing, that the more you allow yourself to feel the depths, the higher you rise into the heights. Breathe and let yourself feel. Let the tears fall if they need to. Let the anger speak if it must. Let the ache be acknowledged. Do not judge what arises. Witness it. Honor it. Emotions are not your identity. They are weather patterns passing through the sky of your consciousness. You are the sky. You are the awareness that holds it all. When you remember that, you no longer fear the storm. You become the calm in the center of it. There is a divine intelligence at work in your inner life. Every emotional wave you ride is not random. It is your soul's curriculum. And when you resist it, you prolong the lesson. But when you surrender to it with open eyes and an open heart, healing happens. Not on your schedule, but in perfect time. Your only job is to show up with love. And that love must begin with you. Not the version of you who's polished and spiritual and always says the right thing, but the version of you who still breaks, who still forgets, who still gets triggered. That version is the one who needs your love most. You cannot hate yourself into wholeness. You cannot shame yourself into enlightenment. You can only embrace yourself home. Forgiveness begins the moment you stop demanding that your past be different. When you stop trying to rewrite what happened and instead listen to what it came to teach you, your past is not your prison, it is your teacher, but only if you allow it to be. You must drop the sword of judgment and pick up the lamp of awareness. The wounds you carry are not punishments. They are invitations. The ego will always want to move fast, to fix, to analyze, to control, but the soul moves slow. The soul does not care how long it takes. The soul cares only that you come home. And coming home to yourself requires that you sit in the very places you once fled from, that you reclaim the parts of you that were exiled in moments of trauma, that you stop betraying your truth just to be accepted, that you feel. When you numb the pain, you numb the joy. When you suppress the sadness, you dilute the love. You cannot selectively numb emotion. The price of avoiding your inner world is the loss of your fullness. And you were not born to live a half-life, you were born for the full spectrum. The beauty, the sorrow, the ecstasy, the grief, the silence, the song, all of it. Let yourself be touched. Let life pierce you. Let your defenses fall. Cry if you need to. Scream if you must. Sit in silence if that's what your soul craves. But above all, feel it. Because feeling is the path. Feeling is the healing. You do not become less by feeling deeply. You become more. You become honest, whole, real. Your emotions are sacred. They are not interruptions to your spiritual path. They are the path. They are not weaknesses to overcome. They are strength in disguise. You have been taught to hide them. But I ask you now, what if you honored them instead? What if you saw your grief not as a failure, but as a sacred river flowing you back to yourself? What if your rage was not dangerous, but holy when expressed with consciousness? What if your sorrow was a doorway to compassion? You do not need to be saved. You need to be seen by you. You need to be felt. You need to be held not by the world, but by your own awakened presence. Can you offer yourself that? Can you sit with yourself like a dear friend? No fixing, no rushing, just feeling, just breathing, just being. You have already survived the thing you feared would break you. And now you are here. Not broken, but broken open. Not shattered, but expanded. The scar does not mean you failed. It means you healed. It means something powerful moved through you, and you live to tell the story. Let the story be love. Let the story be liberation. Let the story be, I came home to myself by finally feeling what I was afraid to feel. You are not your fear. You are not your pain. You are not the memory that plays over and over in your mind. You are the one who sees it. You are the stillness behind the storm. You are the consciousness witnessing the waves of experience rise and fall, and in that witnessing, you awaken. To awaken is not to float above your pain, but to sink so deeply into presence that even your pain becomes illuminated by it. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you begin to ask, what is this showing me? That question asked from the soul unlocks transformation. It takes you out of victimhood and places you in alignment with divine wisdom. You become the alchemist, turning sorrow into strength and tears into truth. There is an intelligence inside your pain. It is not random. It is not punishment. It is initiation. You are being called into a deeper version of yourself, not by escaping the wound, but by entering it consciously. That is the sacred path. That is the hero's journey. You must feel to heal. You must see it to release it, and you must stop pretending that the wound never happened. You are not meant to transcend emotion by rising above it. You are meant to become so fully present with it that it dissolves in your loving awareness. That is the fire of transformation. You do not conquer your shadows by force. You illuminate them with love. You sit with your grief like a child who has been waiting to be held. You listen to your rage like a long-lost friend who was never allowed to speak. You bow before your sorrow and say, you are welcome here. This is not weakness. This is power. Emotional mastery does not come from suppression, but from deep presence. The kind of presence that says, I will not abandon myself anymore. I will not reject this part of me. I will feel this all the way through. And when you do that, something ancient unlocks. A light comes through the wound, and in that light, you rise. The world will tell you to get over it. But your soul says, go into it. The world will tell you to be strong, but your soul says, be real. The world will reward the mask, but your soul longs for authenticity. And it is only when you choose to honor the voice within that healing becomes possible. You are not here to carry the old stories forever. You are here to feel them fully once and let them go. You are not here to keep rehearsing your pain. You are here to extract its wisdom and set it free. Every time you revisit a wound with judgment, you reopen it. But every time you revisit it with compassion, you close it with grace. You don't need closure from someone else. You need release from within. You don't need permission to heal. You just need presence. There is nothing outside of you that can heal what's been ignored within. No apology, no explanation, no validation. The only one who can offer you peace is you. And that peace begins with feeling. So stop asking the pain to leave before it's been fully heard. Sit with it. Speak to it. Ask it what it came to teach you. Ask your sadness what it longs for. Ask your anger what it's protecting. Ask your fear what memory it's tied to. And listen, really listen, with stillness, with reverence, with no agenda but truth. When you become still enough, the truth begins to rise. And when the truth rises, healing happens naturally. Not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. You let the emotion come up and you let it move through. You became the open channel. And in that openness, you set yourself free. Do not fear the depth of your emotions. Fear the numbness that steals your aliveness. Do not fear breaking down. Fear building a prison inside yourself where nothing is ever allowed to be real. The pain you feel is a doorway. The tears you cry are holy water. The tremble in your voice is sacred. Let it be. You are not broken. You are breaking open. You are not lost. You are being called inward. You are not too much. You are finally becoming honest. This is your path now. Not to pretend, not to avoid, but to feel deeply, bravely, lovingly. Let your feelings move like waves across your soul. Let the energy rise and fall. Let your heart become the ocean vast enough to hold it all. You are not a victim of your emotions. You are the sky that contains them. You are not the pain. You are the presence that welcomes it, transforms it, releases it. You've spent years trying to be strong by not crying. But strength is not in silence, it's in sacred expression. Strength is not about holding it all, and it's about letting it move through you without shame. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to reclaim your wholeness. And that begins with allowing your inner world to speak. Let your body shake if it needs to. Let the sobs come. Let the emotion rise like a wave and crash through you. And then notice what remains. That stillness, that clarity, that space, that is you. That is the self beneath the storm. And the more you return there, the less you fear what passes through. Healing does not require perfection. It requires presence. You do not need to have all the answers. You need only to feel the truth of this moment. That's where freedom lives. In the now, in this breath, in this letting go, when you feel it, you heal it. You were never meant to hold it all inside. What the world calls composure, your soul may call imprisonment. What the world calls strength, your spirit may whisper is suppression. And if you listen carefully, not to the noise of the world, but to the silence within, you'll hear the invitation, the quiet but powerful call. Come back to yourself. Feel. Let it move through you. You see, energy cannot be destroyed. It must move. And every feeling you've ever locked away is still waiting, somewhere in the basement of your being, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be felt just once so it can be free. This is why we cannot heal with the mind alone. The mind will loop, but the body remembers. The heart remembers. The soul remembers. And it is only when we give ourselves permission to feel what we've suppressed that we truly return to wholeness. Every time you said, "I'm fine," when you weren't. Every time you swallowed your tears. Every time you dismissed your own needs for the comfort of others, it stayed inside, and now it longs to be seen. The inner child, the buried grief, the unspoken fears, they do not need to be exercised, they need to be embraced. To feel is to reclaim your humanity. It is to remember that beneath the mask of control, you are still a being of light who came here not to dominate life, but to dance with it, to breathe it in, to open wide, to love with the full capacity of your being, even if it breaks you sometimes, even if it unravels what you thought was you. Because what unravels wasn't you, it was a construct, a survival shell, a layer of protection. But the soul is not interested in protection, it is interested in expansion. And to expand, you must allow the shell to crack. You must allow the river of your truth to flow again. Do not fear the cracking, for it is in the cracking that the light gets in. It is in the cracking that the seed breaks open and becomes a tree. It is in the cracking that the caterpillar dissolves to become a butterfly. You are not dying when you feel deeply, you are transforming. The old is falling away, the new is being born. Let it come. So many believe that healing is about doing another book, another technique, another retreat. But healing is often about undoing. It is about removing the layers that were never you to begin with. The false strength, the numbed out smile, the spiritual bypass, the pretending, the I'm okay mask. When all along, what you needed most was a sacred pausia breatha permission slip to feel. Feeling is not something you must fear, it is something you must relearn. The child in you once felt freely. Tears came with honesty, laughter came from the belly, fear came with trembling. But then came the conditioning. Be strong, don't cry, toughen up. And little by little, the armor was built. But now is the time to take it off. Slowly, gently, reverently. There is nothing wrong with you for having emotions. There is nothing shameful about sadness, nothing weak about anger, nothing flawed in fear. These are the sacred winds of your soul moving through you. Let them, trust them, learn from them. Don't stuff them back in the box because someone told you they were inconvenient. Your healing doesn't need to make others comfortable. You are not here to be digestible. You are here to be whole. To be whole, you must reclaim your pain. Reclaim it not by glorifying it, but by honoring it. By saying, this happened, I feel it, I see it, and I love myself anyway. That is the medicine. That is the liberation. Not that the pain disappears, but that you are no longer afraid of it. You are no longer owned by it. You are now the one holding it in awareness instead of it holding you in fear. The moment you allow yourself to feel, without judgment, something sacred opens. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to realize that there is nothing inside of you that is unworthy of love. Nothing that is too messy, too ugly, too broken to be healed by presence. Your soul does not demand perfection. Your soul simply asks that you return. Return to the breath. Return to this body. Return to this now. Return to your heart, however bruised, however guarded, and say, I'm here, I'm listening, I won't abandon you again. This is not a one-time act. This is a practice, a devotion, a remembering over and over again that your emotions are not obstacles to awakening. They are the path. They are the truth. And when you trust the truth, even when it hurts, even when it shakes you, you are never truly lost. You are on the path, and the path is inside you. So let the tears come when they come. Let the laughter bubble up without needing a reason. Let the stillness settle in your bones. Let the grief move through your chest like a sacred storm. Let the rage burn clean through the lies. Let the sorrow soften you. Let the love return not from outside, but from within. You do not need to wait any longer. Not for someone to understand, not for the world to slow down, not for the timing to be right. The time is now, the place is here. The healer you've been waiting for is you. You are not behind, you are not late. You are not wrong for feeling how you feel. You are exactly where you are supposed to be in the curriculum of your soul. The lesson is feeling. The exam is surrender. The reward is freedom. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to be real, to be honest, to be whole, to be soft where life once made you hard, to be open where you once had to close, to feel again, and in feeling, to live again. You are not here to be untouched by pain. You are here to discover that pain does not diminish your divinity. It reveals it, because only something eternal can hold what is temporary without breaking. Only something infinite can remain rooted when the winds of life try to shake it. You are not your emotions, but you must feel them. You are not your past, but you must honor it. You are not the pain, but you must face it. Because freedom does not come from avoiding what hurts. It comes from entering the fire with your eyes wide open and your heart even wider. Every tear you've ever cried was holy. Every moment you felt too much was sacred. Every time you broke down, you were breaking open. You were shedding an old identity. You were releasing inherited fear. You were unlearning the belief that being human was somehow shameful. You are not here to be a statue of composure. You are here to be a living, breathing work of art imperfect, evolving, radiant with truth. You see, the world doesn't need more control. It needs more compassion. It needs more people brave enough to feel their own pain so they don't project it onto others. Brave enough to sit with grief without turning it into blame. Brave enough to say, I am hurting, and not be ashamed of that truth. Because that truth is what will heal you. Your healing does not lie in hiding. It lies in unveiling, in revealing what's behind the mask, in telling the truth of what's been buried, in crying the tears that never got to fall, in feeling the weight you've been silently carrying, and finally saying, I'm done pretending. You don't have to be okay to be worthy. You don't have to be strong to be loved. You don't have to be fearless to be free. You only have to be willing to slow down, willing to listen, willing to turn toward your inner world instead of away from it, willing to Sit in the silence long enough for your soul to speak. Willing to feel, not just when it's comfortable, but when it's uncomfortable, especially then. Because healing begins in the places we've abandoned. It begins the moment we stop betraying our own heart for the sake of fitting in. It begins when we say, I'm going to feel what I feel, even if no one else understands. It begins when we stop waiting for permission to come home to ourselves. And that journey home, it is not linear. It is not tidy. It is messy. It is raw. It is real. Some days you will cry without knowing why. Some days the joy will rise up like sunlight through your skin. Some days the fear will whisper again. Some days peace will flood you like a river. Let it all be. Let it all come. Let it all move through. Because you're not here to control the waves. You're here to remember. You are the ocean. You are vast. You are capable. You are spacious enough to hold everything you feel without losing yourself in it. And when you know this, truly know this, you no longer fear the storm. You dance with it. You breathe with it. You bless it. You see it not as an enemy, but as a messenger. You thank it for what it came to teach you. And then you let it go. You bless and release. You feel and you free. This is the work. This is the path. Not perfection, but presence. Not resistance, but reverence. Not suppression, but sacred surrender. You were never meant to escape your emotions. You were meant to awaken through them. You were never meant to bypass the pain. You were meant to hold it in the arms of your compassion until it no longer needed to scream. And if the tears come, let them come. They are not weakness. They are your soul's way of cleansing, of making space for something new. They are the rainfall that softens the hardened earth of your being. If the anger rises, let it rise consciously, safely, without shame. It is the flame that burns away the lie that you must always smile to be spiritual. If the grief comes, do not rush it. Sit with it like an old friend who never got to speak. Listen, and you will hear the voice of your soul beneath the sorrow. It will not scream. It will whisper. And that whisper will say, you are safe now. You can feel this. You are ready. And if joy bursts through the cracks of your healing, do not doubt it. Let it pour in. You are allowed to feel joy, even in the middle of your process. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. Feel it all. Feel it fully. Because when you feel it, you heal it. And healing is not the end. It is the beginning of a new relationship with yourself. One that is built not on control or avoidance, but on unconditional presence. One where you stop abandoning yourself when things get heavy. One where you trust your inner world enough to sit with it. One where you realize the feelings you feared were never here to hurt you. They were here to free you. And they have, because now you know you don't have to run anymore. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to push it all down just to make it through the day. You can feel, you can breathe, you can be. This is your return. This is your rebirth. This is your liberation. And it began the moment you said yes, not to fixing yourself, but to feeling yourself. Yes to the tears. Yes to the trembling. Yes to the unknown. Yes to the truth. Yes to the sacred unfolding of your own beautiful becoming. And now, breathe. Feel it all one last time. Let it wash through you. And as you exhale, let it go. Because it's not who you are. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not your fear. You are the one who felt it all and survived and transformed and rose and remembered. You do not heal by hiding from what you feel. You heal by finally, lovingly, fully feeling it. You are free now. Welcome home.